Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Let's see if it's broadcasting in local SEO Phoenix Facebook group or not. Live events. Not seeing anything. I'm definitely not seeing it on YouTube. Okay, let's try this. If you guys see me, somebody message me because I'm not seeing anything right now. Okay, let's try that. Stream software. Okay. Video source, locate and copy. Let's see. I think I'm live. Are we live? Yes, I'm in the group. Okay. I do not know why we're not live on stream key copy. Let's see, on YouTube. Give me 1 minute and then Kyle will be joining us. Am I live? Okay, I'm live somewhere. Okay, let's do this. Let me let you in. Thank you, George. I see your message pop up. Hey, Kyle.
Going on?
Hey, man. I see. I believe we went live on Facebook. Like we're live right now, but
Sweet.
I can't tell with YouTube 100%. It shows me on live, but then it doesn't, and I'm confused about it. So it's my first time trying to stream on 2 different platforms using Restream. It says I'm going live, so we're gonna assume we're live on both. All right, right now. Tester, how are you doing today?
It's been fucking busy. Super
Yeah,
fucking busy. Just growing the agency, dealing with all these updates, deploying our AI agents, getting those all set up and everything.
yeah, you've been working hard on those, man.
I mean, our agency is pretty much at what's today, the 8th. By the end of the month, our agency is going to be almost completely automated. So just uploading my SOPs into a vector database, getting some agents set up to work off of those SOPs, and yeah, just get 22 days till the end of the month. I can get this finished.
That's amazing. And I've had the pleasure of looking at stuff behind the scenes. And maybe on the next session, we can get a little bit deeper into AI agents and stuff. But it
Hell
is
yeah.
super cool how you are using them for the agency, like to create tools and stuff, like custom tools, right?
Yep.
That's gonna make everything super easy. Sorry, my phone is blowing up. Let me turn that
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, and like you said, it's all custom. Like that's the thing with using these bullshit fucking AI content creators and shit like that. Like it's all just like it's all just one size fits all shit. You wouldn't buy a one size fits all shoe, would you? Fuck no. It's fucking
No,
stupid. Yeah. So
absolutely
what we're
not.
doing is we are creating agents for each one of our clients with their own client profile, their own brand voice, all of that. So everything is 100% customized within their brand voice. It pulls from their information and everything.
Yeah.
So it's not some stupid fucking bullshit chat GPT wrapper. We're actually using multiple agents, all just in a one big fucking SEO orgy, just like creating some stank in there.
It's definitely that's one way to put it. Using AI agents, like and making them work the way you want them to work and emulate you. That's one way to like really stand out from all these other agencies, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty freaking cool. And I've been busy with like I don't know. The group's been a fair amount of work, doing some client work, as you know, just staying busy, right?
Mhm.
And what's his name? Dimitri's not here right now. He's actually taking a trip right now, but it'll be
Yeah,
cool.
good for him. You know what? He deserves it though. That's one of the hardest working guys I know.
Yeah, he is. I don't know. He's very on the ball. Like he is. He'll call me and then he'll be like, "Yeah, we need to discuss this," and I'll be like, "Okay, fine, just set something up." And then he'll call me 10 minutes later to have a meeting with everyone, and I'm like, "Okay, like that's a very productive person right there."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, we're gonna be doing these Facebook streams a couple times a month, right? Facebook and YouTube, and I'm gonna see if there's a way to not just do it on Local SEO Phoenix, but also for Green Hat, right? It'd be cool to have it go on in both groups and on both YouTubes, right? So now
Yeah. I don't know if we can do it with Restream, but I know one of these platforms you can do it like up to 4 Facebook groups and 4 YouTube channels at a time. I don't know if Restream can do that much though.
okay, definitely we'll be researching that, and whatever works, like we'll make use of it. So the
Yeah.
process is easier to distribute, right? But
Yeah.
man, half a year has gone and we haven't done any of these, right? Like,
I
holy
mean,
crap.
like you said, it's been busy with client work and shit.
Yeah,
Like it's a good time to be in SEO because SEO is getting harder and harder with every single update. More people are dropping off,
yeah.
which means that it's supply and demand. Less and less capable SEOs mean higher and higher retainers for us.
Yes, it does.
Well,
It's
yeah,
definitely an interesting time for SEOs. Either you're gonna get frustrated or you're gonna like take a small break and come back to it and say, okay, how can I, you know, be up to date with the times, right? With
right,
everything that's going on in the SEO space.
right.
All right. Well, today is going to be super interesting. You'll definitely want to hang around towards the end because I'm going to do a really cool demo. But let me tell you what that demo is going to be about. All right. So, Green Hat Local SEO, that's Kyle's agency, right? Kyle and Dimitri. They have a white label SEO service store, right? Is that how you would put it, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, you can white label it. Just don't come fucking asking us for reports and shit. That's your problem, not mine.
There you go. Right. So you definitely have to know what you're doing because you're only
Right.
going to be able to order like, specific services. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I've partnered up with these guys as an affiliate, right? And we're going to be showing you guys like what the current service is, like what the version 1.0 looks like, what you can order right now. I'll give you the link to click on, and to go check it out or whatever, right? We're talking about ordering services like Google Stacks done right, press releases, Cloud Stacks. I don't know. We're gonna get into it, and it all sounds super exciting because when you're busy, like who has time to learn new tools and this and that, right? So it's an easy way to just log into the store, order what you want, and have it delivered to you.
Right.
So what can be better than that? But
Right.
you'll have to stick to that. Maybe in about 15-20 minutes, we're gonna go behind the scenes of that, so I can give you guys a link and show you what the store looks like. So I am super excited for this partnership with you guys because I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time. But Kyle, as you know, like there's the front end, then there's the back end. You have to figure out the fulfillment part. It has to be reliable, the customer service. You have to set up the store, blah, blah, blah.
A lot goes into it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So,
You got to make sure your shit works too. Not like some other white label providers out there who just put wherever the fuck up on there and it doesn't work. And then they come to me because they talk to these guys and they can't get answers and they know that my shit works.
yes, which is
Yeah.
always awesome. So if you're joining the live stream, say hi. Oh, George is with us. I always love that George is always with us. Feel free to ask us any questions, and we will do our best to check in on you guys and get those answered. So let's talk about some recent updates that are happening, Kyle, and what our thoughts are around those. So people are noticing that, in Google Search Console, their impressions are kind of staying the same, right? But their clicks have dropped, right? And that can be contributed to AI overview. Like as much as Google wants to sell us that, oh, they're not stealing traffic from us or this or that, that's what the data is showing. So, do we have any thoughts around this?
Yeah. So I think Ahrefs is the one who coined it. They might not. It sounds like something Rand Fishkin would have said. But they said it's the great decoupling, right? The
Yeah,
decoupling between what Google is promising publishers and what it's promising or giving to users, right? Like it's promising
right.
publishers, like the implied agreement between Google and publishers was that you let Google crawl your site for free and
Yeah,
give access to Google give Google access to your content for free, and then Google will then promote you and drive clicks to your website, which is how the open web worked for almost 30 years, right? At least with Google. Like previously, like when I first started, it was like fucking like CompuServe and Prodigy and shit like that, and like Lycos and Dogpile. Did you ever use Dogpile?
Lycos. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like I remember one of the first SEO articles I read was about how to optimize for Lycos.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
yeah, but I mean that's how it worked for like 30 years, and now we're seeing Google more and more keeping clicks just on its own platform, and it's gotten a lot worse with these AI overviews for some people. For local SEO, we're still not seeing this a lot. Like if you're trying to rank affiliate sites, if you're trying to rank, like CPA stuff, like dating shit like that. If you're trying to rank your news sites or whatever, you're fucked, right? Because what's happening is, Google has these AI overviews. They have AI mode now.
Yes.
Which is keeping people just on Google. They're going to give you that citation, right, in that right hand side of the AI overviews, and that is counting in your like Search Console, in your analytics and shit like that. But people are just reading those and not actually going to your site again, unless you're doing local SEO and you're trying to rank in maps and shit. Which is why I keep telling people who are worried about, like, it fucking pisses me off. I get these questions at least 5 times a week, like, "Oh, what are we doing for AIO or AEO or GEO?" And that's people just shut the fuck up about that.
Trendy initials, right?
Yeah, just shut the fuck up about that if you're doing local SEO, and don't fucking worry about it yet, because we're not there. And even then, all that is just regular SEO. But what's happening is people are seeing, like you said, like their impressions stay steady or even go up, but their clicks just keep trickling down, which is one of the issues with trying to just rank blog posts, informational content, affiliate sites, shit like that, because that's all going to AI overviews now if you're on Google. ChatGPT, Perplexity, stuff like that is still a very small part of search traffic. I think it's only like 2.5% or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, AI overviews are still going to be a big chunk of what people are looking at for simple informational queries. Again, it's still not happening for local SEO. People are still clicking on maps. People are still, asking, Alexa or whomever, their Google Home for a plumber near me. But you're going to see your informational pages start going down. Now, one thing I do want to say though, like as a caveat, is if you see your impressions going up, but your average ranking going down, that's something completely different. So if your impressions are going up or staying steady, your average ranking is staying steady, but your clicks are going down, you're probably losing traffic to AI overviews. But if your impressions are going up and your ranking is going down, you're probably in an A/B test, right? With Google, because Google's trying to test your site or your pages to see where it's going to fit, see if it can test it for more keywords. And as you get tested for more keywords that might not be your core topic, of course you're going to be lower, but your impressions are going to go up, right? So if you see that happening, you're being A/B tested, which means it's time to start tightening up the topics on the topic clusters and topicality of your site. But if your impressions staying the same, clicks are going down, you're probably getting fucked with AI overviews, right?
Okay. Yes, just to be clear, we're talking about impressions going up and clicks kind of dropping off, right? Like that with the whole AI overview going on. And yeah, I pretty much agree. Like, I don't think local SEO, like we're not there where we're getting screwed over by AI overview. People still want to check out individual businesses' reviews and click around and, like make use of the map pack or whatever. So, yeah, just lots of changes going on. And like I said, it's an interesting time to be alive.
I mean, this is, we've gone through this before. Like one of the times that really kind of fucked me over was back in, and I talked about it before. Like this is how early when I started following RYR is back in like 2015. It was like Armageddon for black hatters like me, to where all of a sudden you couldn't rank shit with like FCS Networker and Website Submitter and shit like that. I was like, oh shit, I gotta learn actual SEO now. Like now I gotta learn what on page is, and this is like as big of a shift as it was 10 years ago, right? We're
Right.
seeing a lot of people who are just button pushers who just go in and do whatever Yoast says or what the fuck ever. They're all losing their jobs. All these entry level SEOs or SEOs that don't really know what they're doing, they're just pushing buttons and turning knobs, are like out of the game now,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because of, they don't have the marketing chops, because they can do everything right, and then traffic is being stolen by AI overviews. But to be an
Yeah.
SEO now, you really have to take that next step and actually learn marketing, right?
Yes, you
Now you have to
do.
learn copywriting. Now you have to learn how to set up email sequences. Now you have to learn how to connect with audiences and shit like that,
Yes, you
right?
do. Yep.
Yeah.
Which leads me to something interesting. And I think I got this from, or like I was watching Barry Schwartz, but Google is testing showing social buttons above Google posts, like right
Yeah.
above them. So that's funny. Why would Google be doing that, right? Like if we slow down and think about
Branding.
it, go for it.
It's all about building a brand. That's what Google's been moving toward. That's what I've been saying for like 3 years. Like, it's time to, it was things and not strings, and now it's brands and not bullshit,
Yeah,
right?
so social media has become such a big component, like of SEO, right? Like, and this whole branding umbrella. You really have
Hmm.
to be multifaceted at this point to get anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can also see like people clicking on those buttons to check out the business further, right? Like it's just one of those things like people might be exploring the business or whatever, and they click on whatever, social media channel that they have up. But I thought that was kind of funny. Um,
Right.
yeah.
And
So,
it's everything that we've been talking about for years, for the past like 3 years. Like, I even did a webinar at for Josh Nelson's 7FA group. This was back in like 2022. I was like, you guys, you got to be on Reddit. You got to take your content and put it on Facebook. You got to make shorts out of it. Like, this is
yeah.
coming. And sure enough.
Yeah, you've got to learn how to, like, the easiest way to do this would be to learn how to be everywhere, right? And to be everywhere, you have to learn to multi-purpose or repurpose your content, right? So we have these videos, they're going to be on YouTube, they're going to be on Facebook. They might go on Instagram once I figure that shit out, right? Like we're going to be everywhere, right? So if you want to
Right.
look Green Hat or logo SEO Phoenix, you're gonna see us pop up, right?
Or the SEO anti-conference, which is
Yes,
coming up.
the anti-conference. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let,
it's
let's
an anti-conference. So it's going to be September 22nd. So for all you white hat dickheads going to Brighton SEO, you can come see how actual SEO is being done at the SEO anti-conference. So I'm not going to drop where it's going to be just yet, but it's only going to be about a 10-minute drive away from where Brighton is being held. But yeah, it's going to be me, Moon, maybe Dimitri. I think we're going to have a couple other people from Green Hat there.
yeah,
And then, yeah, we're just going to be there at a bar, getting slammered and talking about SEO.
yeah. We have a couple comments here. Art is watching us. George is obviously here. Art says he's the biggest fan of Moon and Kyle. Just arrived. That's cool.
We're your biggest fan.
Yes.
Biggest fan is Art Home Cleaning.
Art asks, what is the tool you mentioned in your podcast yesterday, Kyle? Like you created your own tool. So I don't know which podcast you released. Maybe there's something specific.
Yeah, well, that was just the last episode, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Is these AI agents that I'm building out? Like, we have a big database of our clients. Art, you're in there, where we're building out these custom agents to start creating content, social media, all of that for for SEO purposes. So it's going to be optimized. We use a couple different NLP libraries to get as many entities as possible. We use quadgrams in there. Everything is tailored to the brand voice for that specific client, as well as whatever services they're offering, of course, unique services. Because, for example, in the tree service industry, some guys will do, like emergency tree removal. Some guys don't. Some actually have certified arborists on staff and some don't. So
Yeah.
if you just use like this generic, like ChatGPT or whatever, they'll probably say, oh, and our staff arborists. Well, you have to be certified to be an arborist. Not everybody has an arborist on staff. So
Right.
what we're doing is we're creating these agents that will actually scan the site, download all the information, we put it in a database, get the brand voice, so we know everything is on point, right? And like some guys call themselves a tree service, and I'm only using this because I work with tree service for a long, long time. Some guys call themselves a tree service company, but only offer stump grinding, right? And that's super hot right now with sweaty startups. So, but again, if you go to ChatGPT and say, "Hey, make me a page about tree service in whatever city," they'll talk about, hazardous or tree removal, tree health assessments, yada yada yada, and then you're left like, "Well, I only do stump grinding, though, right?" Well, with
Right.
our agents, like I said, we have this big database. We're customizing everything, so it's all in the brand voice. It's all tailored to each client. And like I said, we use a few different NLP libraries to get as much information in there as possible that Google wants to see, plus quadgrams, shit like that.
Yeah. It's super interesting to watch you talk because when someone asks you a question, you are nerding out, and I fucking love it. I love it. God bless you. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was a programmer in my last life, and I knew after putting in 8-hour days that I just could not live that life. Like I've told you before, I think that, like, you know how you were doing AI agents, like you've built these tools and stuff. Like it takes a very specific brain to be very into it, and I don't know, like the whole tour.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating that people can use AI agents and just create tools and stuff.
Well, yeah, like I said, like I've put in easily over 300 hours into these in the past few weeks,
Wow.
just getting these all set up and trained and shit. So like I said, like it's not just like you do chat GPT and it spits an answer. It's like we have, this agent calling this agent, calling this agent. They're all talking to each other and shit like that. Like,
Yeah, they are. And I've seen what's under the hood, you guys, and it's pretty freaking crazy. Me, Kyle, and Dimitri usually get together like once a month, maybe, or about once every 5 weeks and stuff. Dimitri usually makes steaks or burgers, and then we go over some stuff. And yeah, he's
super secret ninja SEO stuff.
yes, and it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Oh,
Speaking,
and it creates a schema too. So it's not these bullshit schema generators like what Yoast has. Like it actually will take and it'll do like your organization schema, web page schema. You'll do your service schema, FAQ, person, all of that. Like these are like hundreds and hundreds of lines for each page. So everything that's going to be on the page is then reflected in the schema and then expanded to include, all the entities. Like we entity stack in there.
right.
So yeah.
So there's a lot of debate about schema. Google says it's, maybe not as effective as it once was, right? And people are like, well, I think there's a disconnect here. I think people don't like schema because it's hard to get into, right? Like
Right.
some people it's hard to get into. It's easy to dismiss it. But what do you think? What are your thoughts on schema?
Um, I can perfect. Love it. I love when people say schema doesn't do anything, schema doesn't work, because I've seen pages get ranked multiple times. I've seen multiple pages rank for keywords that other people are going after just with schema. Like literally there is nothing on the front end, right? There is literally no content. There's a header and a footer, and then
Mhm.
everything that would have been there is moved off to schema. And I've seen this rank for software related terms too, right? This isn't some bullshit like, best left-handed poodle groomer in Petticoat Junction type of shit, right?
That's
Like
specific.
these are like literally like one page I saw was ranking for a software related term, like, software for Blink, right? Another one is for another service, a local SEO service in city, where the entire, like top 15 or 20 organic results are people targeting the same keyword, right?
Mhm.
So you absolutely can rank a page just with schema, and you actually, um, it's one of those things that LLMs are looking at as well. So
Yeah.
writing schema is just that much more important now, knowing how to do it properly uh, in order to rank in 2025. And again, like I said, we're in another period where a lot of less talented SEOs are dropping out. And this is one of the reasons why, because they can't wrap their head around schema.
Yeah. And okay, this brings me to another interesting thing. Me and Kyle and Dimitri are collaborating on a local SEO course. And I promise you, we're going to take something like schema, okay? and we're going to make it easy enough for you guys to follow and do. Okay. So that's going to be the cool part. Like Kyle sits there and hand codes schema, right? But we're
Not
going to
anymore. Now that I got this agent
not
going.
anymore, right? Or he used to, not anymore. But we're going to take everything you're supposed to do and just kind of like make it just much easier for you to learn. Okay, so it's that's going to be down the road. That's a work in progress that we've started on, but just a little tidbit to throw in there because every week I get a question in the group about what's the best local SEO course, and I'm like, gosh, dang it, we're a little bit behind, but we'll get there. Speaking of which, has anyone noticed volatility in the SERPs starting end of June? And the reason I asked this is because we're in the middle of a Google update, right? A core update, and its aim is to improve overall quality and relevance for its search results. So I would love to hear from people if they've noticed anything. And do you have any thoughts on this? Any loose thoughts, Kyle, about what's going on out
I got a
there?
lot of opinions on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing for our clients that get hit with an update like 2 or 3 updates ago
Yeah.
are recovering now. Yeah,
Yes,
assuming that you've done the work on the site and everything.
Right.
So the helpful content part of the algorithm is now baked into the core algorithm. So every core algorithm update now is going to have some sort of helpful content component to it, right? It's just baked in there now. Kind of like how a few years ago they baked in rank brain into the core algorithm, right?
Yeah.
So now you have to be using entities and focusing on topics and shit like that. Now you have to be focusing on helpful content. And another reason why my agents are so fucking great is because I trained them on the search quality rater guidelines. So they're writing everything with I'll show you later, but it actually, you can see it actually pulling the search quality rater guidelines and parsing information when writing the content. So yeah, I mean, if you want to like kind of insulate yourself from these updates, read those quality rater guidelines, really understand what they mean, and then tailor not just your page, like each individual page, but your website as a whole to meet those guidelines, right? Because a lot of what we're seeing is people still are focusing way too much on, oh, I've optimized this page and it's still not ranking. It's like, well, how's the rest of your site looking?
Right. No, it's absolutely true. And search intent, all of it freaking counts. And back in the day, you wouldn't get that many Google updates, right? So like, and you would kind of see the effects of it right away sometimes, and you would just start drinking, right? You'd be like, oh fuck. Now it's like, okay, whatever. Like we gotta wait for it to be finished. And if something has happened, we're just gonna update it to the new, optimize or whatever to the new guy.
Hold on. My dog's going nuts. I gotta go shut her up. Hold on one second.
That's fine. Do your thing. I'm gonna read comments in the meantime. This is a good one. Okay. All right, I am reading your question in just a minute once Kyle gets back, okay?
Okay, I'm back.
Good. Are the
I gotta say that we've never been attacked by an Amazon delivery guy since we've had this German Shepherd. So she's doing her job.
She is doing her job. We have a good question from Art. Are you ready for it, Kyle?
Hit me.
Okay. Is it a good idea to jump into red ocean when opening GMB locations like downtown New York, where you could have hundreds of calls when you're in the top 3, but it will take dozens of years to become number 1 to 3 in Google and $1 million spending on SEO competing with $1 million companies? Or is it better to find small, quiet areas and just have more locations?
Get as many locations as you can, because even if you are in, say, I mean, we've got clients over in like the Bronx, right, in Manhattan and shit like that. And they're still getting phone calls even for things that they're not directly optimizing for, right?
Yeah. That's
So, I mean, in each block in New York, for just using that as an example, there's like 10, there could be like 10,000 people, right?
Yeah.
So you are going to show up for a few things, even without spending millions of dollars in SEO, right?
Yeah.
On top of that, the more locations you have, the more GBPs you have, the more information Google has about you,
Your
right?
entity, your brand. Yeah.
And it's not like Google's charging for these, right? So absolutely, like, get the GBP, put some budget behind it, but don't worry about spending, tons and tons of money, right?
Right.
We have PI lawyer clients over in like the Bronx and stuff like that, where this is a white label deal, so we're not charging them 10 G's. We're still getting them rank in the map pack, right?
Yes, we are.
And they're still getting phone calls and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter really of, can you get the GBP and make it live and keep it, right? There's no reason not to do it.
Right.
If
And
you're going to be showing up for something.
that's a great point. And maybe you're not going to rank for a 5-mile radius or something crazy, right? But maybe you're going to rank for those keywords and in a very small area and still generate those leads, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's a great question.
Yeah. And then, Google pulls a lot of information for ranking GBPs from the website itself. So if you have a well built out website, you have good content on there, your interlinking is done well, you have links, you're getting branded clicks and stuff, that GBP is going to rank real quick. I mean, we have a dental client who hasn't even officially opened their location yet, but their GBP is up. But because their website is so optimized and because we've done everything else right, they're already getting phone calls. Like I said, not even open. They got multiple leads this week.
Is that the one you said that they've already gathered reviews before, or is that another one?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, like it's not even open yet, but they just
Yeah, that's pretty freaking awesome. Of course, you're welcome. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Yeah, so volatility in the SERPs, if you're noticing anything, it's due to the Google update, and it's going to take about 3 weeks to complete. So just enjoy the ride, you guys. And then pick up.
Don't make any major changes right now and expect anything to happen.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah. Right, it's too late for that. Oh yeah, Kyle, did you want to talk about I think you said George might have found this out, or you did. I can't remember exactly, but the Google Calendar events or whatever not indexing.
Right. Yeah. So George is actually the one that pointed this out to me. George, our buddy George from George Digital. He's actually the one that pointed this. I think he might still be on the live stream actually. He's the one that pointed this out. Yeah, he's the one that pointed this out. What we used to do with Google Calendars, and this is something that a lot of people are doing with Google Stacks, is Google Calendars used to be a really easy way to get things indexed and to keep indexed. Because what it would be is, you would make the calendar public, and Google wants to make sure that this is updated, so they would hit it, like every 5 minutes, every half an hour, or whatever. So if you stick in, an event every hour, and you make that a link to your new page or to your citations or whatever, Google would hit that, crawl those links and stuff, and then just keep hitting it over and over and over again, right? This is one of like the ninja ways that we used to keep step index. We would get spammy like Money Robot and GSA links index and stuff. And a lot of people who don't know this yet, again, people who don't really know how to do SEO are still using this in their Google Stacks, and it still works because we used to use this in Google Stacks too. But George notified me last week, 2 weeks ago, that in the robots.txt file now for Google Calendars, the crawling is disallowed. And if you go and do a site search for calendars.google.com, you're not going to see hardly anything in there. It used to be tons of calendars, right?
Right.
So now, like, this has just gone by the wayside. Like, we're not using calendars as part of our stack anymore, just because there's no reason for it. And we're also not using it to, get our spammy, shitty links indexed anymore. There's other ways that we're doing that. But this is just one way that we're keeping up on the trends, or we have people that we know, like friends of ours, who are in here testing the shit every single day, keeping up on this. Because, George found this out because we're working on a test on how to index Google sites, which is something we're going to talk about in a bit. Yeah. And then he discovered, because we're trying to do it with Google Calendars, and then he discovered that, can't do it anymore.
Yeah. So George hit me up if he could join the live stream today. And I have such a hard time just getting it going. I did not respond to you, George, but if you're there, are you there right now?
Let me message him. Yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to join us, we can try it, right? We can go into what he might be working on for like 5 minutes or something like that, because I think it's
It's
pretty cool.
friggin' sweet, and I can't wait till he unleashes this. It's gonna just wreak havoc.
Yeah, okay. George is here. He messaged me on Telegram, so let me invite him. Hold on one second.
Yeah,
Like
I
research
mean,
is not my forte, so it takes me. No, hold on, George. You might be able to just join us. The joining part is easy. It's me setting up and trying to. Okay, let's see if I see him in there. Okay, so that's that. We have covered quite a few things. So
a
I
lot of
do want to show off the SEO warehouse, but let's see if George can.
well, this is gonna be part of the SEO warehouse.
Yes, it is. Here we go. George has joined. Add to the stream. Hold on. Oh, there you are, George.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Test, test.
Yes.
Hear
Now
me
we can.
now.
I gotta change my camera so like in focus. All right, there you go.
There we
Yeah,
go.
just talking about the Google Calendars test that we were doing with your
Yeah, and
site.
I don't want to take complete credit for that because I was pinging off of Carolyn for that information.
Oh, Karen Holtzman. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pinging her. I was like, "What do you?" Because she's kind of a crawl index master herself. So I was like, "What do you see about this?" Because I wasn't seeing my G site being crawled. Right, I was doing a single
Yeah.
variable test. I was like, okay, the calendar is only linked to the G site, and I put what every 15 minutes for like for like months,
Right.
right? And I wasn't expecting it to be indexed, but I was at least expecting for Google to show up and say, "Hey, I see you,"
Yeah.
and that didn't happen. So then I went to her. I was like, what do you think about this? Like, what are you seeing? Are because the buzz was at least for the last what Kai would say 2 or 3 years
It's been
has
a long time. Yeah.
been, hey, if you make an event in Google Calendar, and in that event you put your links, Google will come around and say hi.
Yeah.
Google was not coming by at all. Couldn't smell anything. So
What an
like I
asshole.
said, then I passed it on to Kyle. Kyle sort of verified a little bit, checked around himself, and
Yeah.
you can still see Google calendars on the SERP, but they're all I don't think I found one that was any newer than 2023.
Oh wow.
Right. Because
Perfect.
things get indexed and they kind of stick around. They don't de-index necessarily, but I didn't see anything new indexed.
That is crazy. So that part is crazy, but what's even crazier is a service that George, a potential service that George is working on. Do we want to delve into it a little bit?
Hell yeah, we do. This is freaking
Tiny bit,
awesome.
George. I'm
Kyle,
supposed to have you on in 2 weeks, but let's just chat about it. This is gonna. I think it's gonna break people's minds. Let's
well,
just talk about
it's breaking my mind.
it.
So
Keep
yeah,
going.
so anyway, so what I'm working on, we're talking about Google Sites. The thing I'm working on is the ability to create upwards of 7 pages, maybe more, depending on how we want to set up the form on the front end. But anyway, these multiple page sites, Google Sites.
Yeah.
And the beauty of these is going to be that they will be based off a location. So you're talking about having multiple locations or multiple locations associated with your business. And for a local business, you take, I think I was talking to you, Moon, about, San Diego. San Diego has something around 100 neighborhoods, over 100 neighborhoods. So if you had a tree service in San Diego, and you had over, multiple tree services in San Diego, you could build out with G sites by hand, actually, if you really wanted to. You could build out, tree service, and I can't think of a neighborhood off the top of my head, but all these different neighborhoods. Hillcrest?
Hillcrest.
Yeah, Hillcrest. So, Tree Arborist Hillcrest, right? That's one of your pages off of, moontreeservices.com, right? That'd be your homepage. Then you have Hillcrest, right? So you would have all these different neighborhoods, and this thing can pump them out, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Moon, sorry, not to interrupt, but do we have a link? I got somebody asked me for a link to come see. What happened here?
I'm gonna
where'd my
post
video
it.
go?
Yeah, I don't know where your video went.
Uh-oh.
It's no longer on
It's
the cell
not
phone.
on my end, as far as I know. Sorry, George, just a second.
There we go.
There you are. I am going to drop the link in the comments, but then after the stream is over, I'll highlight it in the descriptions as well. But continue talking, George. Give me 1 minute.
Okay. Continue talking now. Give you 1 minute, or
Yeah,
give
you
1 minute and then
keep
talk.
talking. If I'm distracted, don't worry about it.
Okay. So anyway, so the whole idea is that you're going to have, multiple pages that look pretty, the pages look relatively basic, but the key is that the content inside of these pages, the content itself, obviously, map embeds, schema is going to be in there. It's not going to be a full-fledged schema, but it's going to be enough to attract Google's attention. Again, I don't know if anyone has actually built a G site before, but they're relatively tedious to do.
It fucking sucks.
Right. So so I have a way to templatize a couple of things, and again, it's hard to explain without giving away a whole lot. But I've built some similar to Kyle. I'm using some agents, using some automation to take a list of cities, take a list of services, mesh them together, and you'll have goo gabs of sites.
So, how many could you build, theoretically, if you want to go balls to the wall?
If I want to go balls to wall, so I'm testing that out right now. Balls to wall for me, because I'm a little more on the affiliate side, which it's sort of a gone by dream, but it's still fun to play around with because it's a true tell if something's moving or not.
Right.
But so for me, it'd be national, right? And for national, I would look at every city, give or take, around 10K or above population, right?
Yeah.
So, most cities at that point here in America are going to have internet. So that's a good spot for me to start at. And that's around 4,100 sites.
Holy
So
shit.
you could build, with your software you're developing that's going to be available in the SEO warehouse, by the way.
Wink, wink.
So you could build literally 4,000 multi-page G sites without having to do it all by hand.
Correct. I mean, honestly, the limitation is actually 9,999 pages per site.
Right.
And because
9,000 pages per site, 4,000 sites, it'd take you 6 months to.
I don't know. I think it might take longer than that.
Man,
because the math, the math works out to what was it, Tom? I think it was 9 days, a little bit over 9 days.
I think so.
For 4,000 to basically catch all those cities.
Incredible, dude. Though.
I mean, but imagine doing it by hand, right?
Right.
8 hours a day.
What the beauty of this is 5 years ago, George, remember when we were testing, we would just spin up a site, get the mass page generator, and just, mass page just spam the RDF triples back in 2020, 2021. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And now that doesn't work as well. There's other ways to do it that we've been doing, internally, at Green Hat for over a year now. But, doing it with these G sites on these super trusted sites that Google loves, and spamming your RDF triple. It's going to break shit.
It is going to break shit.
Yeah.
Hey, if anyone takes advantage of this service, thank Kyle and Moon, because I was going to keep it to myself.
No, okay, look, I am really good at convincing people not to keep things to themselves. Ask
Apparently.
Kyle, ask Dimitri, and now I'm working on George. So we're gonna bring something to the SEO warehouse by George exclusively, right? Like hopefully exclusively. And I think this is I think this is incredible. Like to pump out Google Sites and possibly up to 4,000. Like he said, like that's fucking incredible.
Could you imagine? I mean, could you imagine? Even like you said, even just in San Diego, there's like 100 different geographic locations, or Orange County. We don't have a ton of cities. Like South County is a lot of open spaces and shit. It's good off road trails too. So we would have maybe 50 areas, including neighborhoods and shit in Orange County. But to be able to spin up multiple page Google sites, all mentioning for example, like house cleaning in Irvine, house cleaning in Aliso Viejo, house cleaning in Newport Beach, house cleaning in San Clemente, shit like that. And then just getting those out there. And we've shown even without linking back to the money site, to the money page, Google and the LLMs are still reading all this. And it's just reinforcing the machine learning.
Yeah. And that's sort of what I was going at with in regards to LLMs. It's like if you have all these sites out there, and even if it's for local, like I said, I think I used locksmith at one point. If you use like a local locksmith in LA, even if you were to say locksmith New York, but it's all pointing to your site, into your into your business, Google's still feeding all that information, still feeding like this person's about locksmiths everywhere, so they're definitely going to be about locksmiths where the GBB is.
Yeah.
So you're just giving all the data that that Google wants. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I'm you probably know I'm a spammer. I'm a little bit of a brute forcer. I'm a black hat, if you will. Tip the hat to all those guys. One of the last open black hats, apparently. But I love it. And it's tweaking things, breaking things. It's the engineer in me. I love breaking it.
Actually, you know what? We got to discuss this offline, but I just thought of, remember how I was doing those Google site PBNs that I showed you a few years ago? It was just way too tedious to do it manually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then that dickhead stole my process and sold a course on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We should talk about this offline. Yeah. We should talk about this offline and work that into the process, because we can do that too. And just really just ramp this shit up.
And honestly, the way I'm templatizing it, any strategy or most strategies can be implemented.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. Like you hit goal on something here.
Yeah.
I mean, is it fair to think about it as a PBN on Google's trusted property?
I would say no.
Okay.
Only because of how relatively flat it is. But it is a data dump.
Okay.
It's 100% a data dump. Now, from a interlinking link wheel, is it pointing to each other, this, that, and the other? No, it's relatively flat, but it's all pointing in the same direction, right?
Okay.
And to the point that we've made before, Google does not hate itself. It's not going to penalize itself. Getting a high, quote unquote DA, getting a high DA site pointing to you is especially being Google, will never be a penalty.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the beauty.
And if you do it right, even if it was a cruddy site, doing it right is not going to give you a penalty. So we're doing both of those things. We're being safe on our anchors. We're also being safe on where it's coming from, i.e. Google. So there's not going to be much, if any, honestly, and I say any risk of any damaging your ranking if the value is only upwards in doing this.
Got it. No, this is going to be amazing, and that's why I want it on the SEO warehouse. I think it's one of those things that you've engineered that is like new in the sense that how fast you're going to be able to pump these things out, right? I mean, like we've said, it's a fucking tedious process to do it by hand. Like, screw that, right? So,
yeah, and you know, and I was talking about 4,000 sites. You know, honestly, most people aren't like, you know, if you're in, I don't know, let's take you know, a place I used to live at one point. If you're looking like Tucson, Tucson doesn't have 100 neighborhoods, right? So you're not going to necessarily want 100. You know, you're not going to want all those locations. So maybe it's 50, right? Or maybe if you're in a smaller city in Wyoming, is it going to be even less? But the idea stands is that you're going to have multiple locations in your area that are pointing to you, that are stating you and your service are at this location.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And that's being backed up by, you know, the domain of Google, and, you know, beyond that, will, you know, they'll be at least crawled, if not indexed, particularly for that area. I mean, if you're talking about, you know, especially low comp areas.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and crawling is really like all that matters. You don't need to get your shit indexed. I love it when people fucking waste their credits on like Omega Indexer and shit like that when they're using SEO Neo. Like,
I love it when people waste their money on finding out if it's indexed.
Yeah. Don't pay for any service that's gonna see if your links are indexed. Just use Scrapebox for that. It's a one-time fee. Just use Scrapebox. That's what we use.
I'm really on with some black hatters, huh?
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about any of the. I mean, hey, half of the software that I use is in Russian, so.
Oh shit. Okay then. Well, we'll definitely have a black hat session. It sounds like we can live stream with one of those.
Or come to the SEO anti-conference. Maybe we can convince George to stop by. Seriously. Buy him a few drinks. See what we can get out of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be a lot of fun to get a bunch of SEOs together. And just talking. But why don't we give them a tour of the SEO warehouse? Because somehow, I mean, I don't know how late I was in getting the stream started, but it's noon. Like, we've been at it for about an hour. So we
got 5 minutes if we wanted to do this. Yeah.
Let's see. Which one?
And then this is where, when you know, when George launches his software, this is where you'll be able to buy the links from.
I'm only doing this so then I can buy a bottle of a Hakushu.
Oh, Hakushu 12? Yeah, that was Well, like I said, Hakushu is part of the blend in Toki.
Yeah.
So you can buy that for, you know, $50 less.
I like my singles. I like my single malts.
That's how you roll.
That's how I roll. Single malts with a big ass, giant ice cube.
Yeah, or Yamazaki. Yamazaki is really good too, but that's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Again, that's the only reason I'm doing it, so I can, you know, have a couple of dollars to spend on some good single malt.
Yeah,
you know, it's not Kentucky bourbon; it's Japanese bourbon.
It's Japanese whiskey. Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, you put any top tier Japanese whiskey can go head to head with any good Scotch.
I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the guy who actually brought, and I'm only talking about this because I used to, you know, 10 bar and I used to give seminars and shit. But yeah, the guy who actually kickstarted the Japanese whiskey movement actually was trained in Scotland. That's why their whiskeys are so much like Scotch.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. You know, they're not like American style bourbons or ryes or anything like that. It's all Scotch based.
Yeah, a good Scotch is a good Scotch. I didn't like Scotch until I got old enough to buy a decent bottle.
Yeah. I mean, Scotch, like the smokiness, like I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of it. Like I'll take a good like Highland Scotch, right? Like an Abdalor or like a Dalwhinnie or something. But yeah, like this, like the Bowmore or Lagavulin or Ardbeg, the super smoky ones, it's like I can't do that. Yeah. Like if it really came down to it, I would much rather prefer like a rye whiskey or a bourbon or something. Yeah. Like Rittenhouse 100 is like my everyday drinker. It's 100 proof bonded rye whiskey, and it's good for pretty much anything.
Nice.
Yeah. Trying to kill time while Moon figures out her shit over here.
We'll have to edit out the The Alcoholic Anonymous. I can see that your screen right now. If that matters, Moon.
Does it show the? Hold on, 1 second. Does it show the client portal right now?
Yes.
It does?
Previously, it was like the Land O'Lakes, like picture in picture in picture in picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Currently, right now, it's so. Yeah, every tab that you click, we can see.
We're seeing everything. You gotta.
Oh, it's live.
You gotta close those really weird tabs. You gotta open.
The cord. I had to get rid of. But you guys can see the full screen is SEO Warehouse right now.
Ooh, yeah, we gotta take off Google Calendar. I forgot to update this.
Okay, so I cannot see like what the actual window is showing, which is
It's whatever your screen is.
Okay, so let's do it. So I'm actually logged into the SEO Warehouse, so you have to create an account to see these services, right, Kyle?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the first service in here. So remember, guys, this is version 1.0. We're going to add more services in the next few weeks, all right? So you can get a Google Stack.
So these are Google Stacks the way we do it. Yes. So one of the reasons why people say Google Stacks don't work anymore, this and that, is because they'll pay go to Legit or Fiverr and pay $100 for a G Stack.
Yeah.
And the problem with this is if you're building it by hand, you're not going to get that public Google Drive folder. Google took that ability away back in 2021, I think, and that's where a lot of the power from Google Stacks comes from. We, however, have public Drive folders that we put everything in. So these folders are crawled and, if not indexed, or at least crawled by Google, whereas if you make a folder by hand, you won't be able to make it available to the public on the web. It's just available to anyone with a link, which means Google's not going to crawl it. But if you can make that G Stack available to the public on the web, that's where the power comes from.
Awesome. Okay.
And then this also includes like schema and stuff like that as well. Not Google Calendar anymore. I gotta take that part off.
Okay, so let's. I'll work with you on updating it so we can get this baby updated within the next day.
Speaking on that idea of the folders being public, depending on how old of an account you have, or how old the folder is, I guess, or the drive. Sorry. I guess my service that that I'm hopefully going to release here soon. I'll have to work with Kyle to make sure that those are the accounts we build those on.
Yep. 100%.
Awesome. We also have a citation service there. Kyle, do you want to say anything about it?
It's citations. These are the loss leader for us. If you don't know what a citation is, you should probably just get out of SEO.
We also have a press release service.
Press releases are written according to our standards, and we get these press releases. A lot of our press releases will rank actually on Google Organic, and then we also write them in a way that they get love from the LLMs too. So oftentimes when we do press releases, we'll see, if not immediately, then soon after, getting into Google's AI overviews and into Perplexity. Not ChatGPT. That's obviously a little behind what's currently on the search results, unless you actually ask it to search and stuff. But the way we write these press releases just injects all that information into Google and LLMs.
Oh yeah, and I'm highlighting the brand awareness because this is great for that. Right?
I'll be the first one to say that if you don't have your on page correct, these can outrank you. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure. And then we have our news on pressenergy.com, which is probably 6 or 7 years old, and I've just pumped that shit up full of links. So then this stays live on pressenergy.com forever. So it's not going to, press releases drop off after 45 days or so. So your press release will stay on there forever. You'll have your newsroom in there, all that.
Got it. And then we also have this bulk press release, and it seems to be a press release like 10-pack, right?
Yeah. So this is for agencies if you're buying these for your clients. Again, it's all written according to our SOPs, ones that I've developed, and you're gonna get a little bit of a discount on there.
Clicking around. Okay, local landing pages. Let's talk
about that. again, this is with the agents that I just developed. So these are going to be pages written according to our SOP that get ranked. They're going to have, like I said, they're going to have Google's NLP entities. We're using also a different NLP library because there isn't just one NLP. There isn't just one natural language processing. There's different libraries and stuff you can use. So we're using that. We're structuring it according to our SOPs, which I've tested to have shown that this is how Google wants things structured. It's the most efficient way of structuring things. And these are for like if you want to rank for something like tree service in Long Beach or whatever. And now we're seeing your Facebook. Are we seeing some comments on here? What are we doing?
Yeah, sorry. I am not used to like I'm used to clicking around without you guys seeing my screen. So I'll sometimes look at comments. But sorry for the interruption. Finish that, and then I'll look at the comments.
Yeah, so this is for like if you want to rank or you want to push your GDP for like say like tree service in Long Beach or something like that. You would order this page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll look at the comments after. This is my ADHD.
Well, I can tell you what they say.
Oh yeah, George, why don't you be our moderator?
Yeah, feel free to.
All right, so we got Alex Davis asking, are y'all still using or seeing results from CTR manipulation?
Hell yeah! Are you freaking kidding me? That's always going to be a ranking factor. People who say CTR doesn't work, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But we absolutely are seeing results with it.
There's absolutely. I'm always. It's always funny when people say CTR doesn't work. It's like, well, but it's literally like it does. I guess there's no way for me to explain how I don't understand how they don't think it works.
I mean,
right.
It's the basis of what Google finds useful, right? Like if CTR is happening, like that's just a ranking factor. So.
Right, but it's also not going to work if your page isn't optimized, if your site isn't optimized. Like you're not going to fucking rank for massage therapist if your website's for like a fucking acupuncturist or something, right?
You got to do some real crazy stuff to do that. I'm still working on that. I'm still working on getting a page ranked for something that has nothing to do with
the main topic. Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure that you'd have to get it ranked for that first, and then you can wipe the page clean.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's probably not something that you'd want to talk about on a live stream, but yeah, there are ways to do that. Yeah. Oops.
I mean, there's no reason to do that though. That's the thing. There's no reason to rank a site with nothing on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all black hat stuff that you can do. I mean, there's reasons to do that, but yeah, maybe we'll talk about that later. We'll release a course after that part stops working.
Yeah. Are there any other questions?
Let's see. Mohammed Umar says, "Are you guys talking about Google stacking?" Yes, we were.
We sure were. Yep.
That's all the questions so far.
Okay, good. Let's talk about the cloud stacks that are being offered on the SEO Warehouse, Kyle.
Yeah, so this is another one to update. Again, this is 1.0, so there's been some bugs in there. So we're not doing the 100-page sites anymore. That does not work nearly as well as it used to. So we are doing, like, at this point now, it's not about the links going to your main page. It's about training the LLMs and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and Moon, we've tested and shown that you can rank a GBP without any links going to it just by spamming those RDF triples, right? Which is what these cloud stacks do. So yeah, we do four deep, 4 tiers deep, and then we do another row beneath that with our own, with another link network. Because time and time again, we've tested and have shown that Google goes 5 tiers deep when looking at links, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not doing 100-page sites anymore, but we are writing these like we would a regular page to get these ranked. We're injecting schema in there. We're doing some of our other goodness. And then we have another 5th tier of links that we're pointing up to these just to get all that extra power over to these stacks, right?
So can you explain or break it down why schema is included in here?
Because you'd have to have schema in there. I mean, schema is one of those things that's like non-negotiable now for SEO, right? It used to be like years ago, you could easily rank without schema, and now you can. But everybody's doing schema now, so we've all trained Google to look at that schema. And like I said, the LLMs are looking at schema too, right? And one thing that I'm testing now is what type of schema, because there's more than just the JSON-LD schema, right?
Yeah.
There's other schema that Google is is looking at in Bing and LLMs, right? So we're looking at, what is the most efficient way to write schema for these pages.
Yep. Connecting all the dots.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's see, cloud stacks. Let's go over power pyramids.
So this one is for super, super competitive keywords, right? So what we'll do is we'll get a guest post written about your brand and everything. We'll use that at the top, and then below that, we're going to go 5 tiers at a minimum deep, and then pyramid. So it'll be like your guest post, right? Then it'll be a couple beneath that with just a fuck ton of links going up to those first tier links to your site. So we're kind of laundering any links from the bottom to the top, pushing along the goodness and all that power over to your page. And this page, this could be, the guest post is pointing to your site. So this page could be a local landing page. Really what I would recommend is pointing that to whatever page your GBP links to, because that's the page you really want to get ranked, right? Because if you're pointing your GBP to your homepage, you're fucking up. Your GBP should be pointing to your local landing page that is associated with that city.
Right.
We point these over to there, and then we're seeing in like 60 days, you're going to see things start to, assuming that you've done the on-page SEO correct, you're going to see things organically start to move up, and you're going to see things on the map pack. It's not going to expand your radius, but it's going to, whatever radius you're currently ranking in, you're going to be getting higher ranks in there.
Okay, cool. Very, very fucking cool. I wanted to go over these so people have an idea of what they're ordering. But if you have any questions, just push them through, and me and Kyle can help answer these. But
ask now, because I'm not going to answer stupid fucking questions on the SEO warehouse. But what should I order? Blah, 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 blah. Like, if you don't know what you're ordering, then just don't fucking order. I don't have time to deal with shit.
Hold on one second. I gotta turn this screen share. This is so weird. Okay, holy shit.
There we go.
Where did George go?
I'm still here.
Okay.
My camera decided to hate me because I was playing around with it. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, that's what happens. But I think we've got a good live stream for today.
I think so.
Yeah, we've covered everything. Yeah, if you don't have an SEO strategy in place, the SEO warehouse isn't for you. If you have it in place and you don't want to do the work, then it's a perfect place to just outsource. And, the next few weeks, we're also going to add some on-paid services so you can marry both of them and have a complete set of services.
Or if you don't have a strategy, come to the SEO Anti-Conference and talk to us about strategy. Or I'm making the agent that's going to be doing complete top to bottom end-to-end strategy too, according to all of our SOPs.
Yeah, so maybe that's going to be offered as a service. I'm not 100% on that right now, but just keep checking in because this thing is going to be huge. Okay, I'm going to make sure that it's going to be a set of very helpful services for you guys.
Yeah, and ask me. Don't ask me. I don't have time to answer questions about the SEO warehouse. I got shit to do.
Okay, and what's Art is saying? Do it twice a month. Are you talking about live streams or what? I'm not 100% on.
We'll live stream twice a month.
Yeah, we'll do it twice a month. If I have time, maybe I'll add a third one just for myself. But I know you're super busy, Kyle. But at least twice a month, we're gonna be here.
George, could you hop on once a month or so with your Black Hat goodness? Oh, George left us.
Yeah, he did.
He's fallen into the Black Hat black hole.
He says yes, though. He texted through. All right, you guys, thanks for joining us and asking us questions and stuff. Thanks for being here, Kyle. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Hell yeah. Talk later.